Why? Hope is not a strategy. Responsibility is. Wow. I remember the end of the last era, the 100-year era. There was a lot of hope. Everybody was hoping Y2K would be okay and that we didn't need to do anything about it. They were going to take care of it. And not much was said, really, till afterwards. And it was really a concern to me because my dad had told me that it was going to be a real problem. He died in '86, and the end of Y2K was in '99, December 31st of '99. But he knew what was going on and knew that it was going to be a mess. And he had told me, not the year he died, but he talked about it even before that. He'd been worried about it for a long time. Is hope going to save us from climate change? Is hope going to save us from war? Is hope going to save us from political leaders? Is hope going to save us from supply chain problems or pirates interfering with supply lines? I think not. I think we've got to take responsibility, at least in the United States, for the fact that we elected Donald J. Trump. Not me. God, no. That didn't happen. I did not do that. I would not do that. I didn't do that the first or the second time. Oh, no, 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 no. I have either been a staunch Democrat or Green Party my entire life. I thought my father was nuts that he was a Republican, but that was a lot of years ago. And back then, the military was all Republican. Back when he was still working and things were different. He would have been horrified to have been alive the last year. I can just hear him. Oh boy. Horrified. And after the first year Trump 1.0, I know that he would not have voted for Trump 2.0. He would have voted for Kalma, though. Yeah. Because my father was definitely in favor of women having a chance, and he was definitely colorblind. That's how he raised me. He raised me to believe I could be anything I wanted to be, and he raised me to believe that there was no such thing as skin color. And part of that was the fact that he was very dark-skinned and everyone thought he was Mexican because his Spanish was so good. But they didn't realize his first language was Polish, his second language was English, his third language was Spanish, and his fourth language was Russian. He was real good with language, not like me. For me, it was always math, not language. But right now, we don't have clear-cut choices like that. We can either sit around on our honeys looking for they, whoever it is that's supposed to take care of the climate change problem. Of course, all the years that I've been following, which has been almost 20 years now, Dr. Guy McPherson or listening to John Overpeck, neither one of them has talked about hope, especially not McPherson. He said, anybody who believes in hope is false. It's absolutely false. Hope is not what's going on. We have to take responsibility for what is happening. First, we have to take responsibility and recognize that we caused it. We didn't respect the planet. We didn't respect the planet. Seems like such a simple thing to have done. I mean, there's no planet B. We knew that. I mean, maybe not everybody knew that. My father certainly knew it. He worked for NASA for 17 years doing the Apollo, the Saturn, and the shuttle projects. He was the last inspector. He knew. He knew there wasn't another place for us to go and breathe normally. Water to drink. Those are the first two things we need. Air and water. I don't really understand. As a problem solver, I was raised to be a problem solver. That's part of being a military brat. You're supposed to know what to do at certain times and either do it or figure out how you can, because you follow orders. That's what you do. And when there's a problem, it has to be solved by following the orders. And I don't know where the orders are. I've looked, I haven't found them. And the experts keep telling us. Of course, they've been telling us for a long, long time, and when they first started telling us, they said, this problem is going to exist by 2100. Afraid that's still a ways off. And the problem exists. The predictions have time and time again been wrong. They've been saying that we didn't have to worry until 2100, and then it was 2050, and now we're more frequently hearing 2035. 2035 isn't that far away. And I have not heard of anyone saying they've got the solution. And yet it's our responsibility. We should have done something by now. We should have done something years ago. Back in 1962, when Rachel Carson told us that there was a problem, and she said, hey, the birds are dying, the insects are dying, the chemicals we're using on the ground are killing things, we're in big trouble. We should have reacted. I mean, we reacted about the Vietnam War. Why didn't we react about climate change? Why didn't we react about the fact that we were harming our planet? Let alone not exactly knowing back then what was going to happen. We still knew that something was very wrong. And there's still people who deny it today. Current White House staff deny it. Even after July 3rd, 2025 in Texas, Mystic Camp. A bunch of children are dead. Adults too, but there were a bunch of kids right in the path of all those floodwaters that weren't anticipated because FEMA employees had been fired or laid off or whatever. Anyway, they weren't there. And that should have said something. I mean, there's other things it should have said. All these predictions on the Arctic and how much ice is melted should be telling us something. The fact that the water in the ocean has never been warmer. The fact that the AMOC, which I really don't know how to say to you, but it means the way the water flows around the earth is not flowing like it's supposed to be flowing. It's changing. Supposedly, Europe is going to get a lot colder. it's our responsibility to solve the problem. How many people do you know who are working on that problem? I don't. I know people who are reporting the problem, but I don't know anybody working on the problem. Not a single one. I have never heard anybody pop up and say, hey, I'm working on trying to come up with a result of climate change. I've heard secondary about a man who designed some items that you put in the air to reflect some of the sunlight. But I don't know anybody by any government who's working on the problem. I don't know any billionaires who've put money into working on the problem. I know billionaires who've built underground tunnels and underground housing, and now they're building moats. Just heard that 2 days ago. They're building moats, like back in the days when we had castles with moats around them and alligators or snakes or whatever in the water. Piranhas. What have we reduced ourselves to? Are we that self-centered that we can't recognize it's our responsibility? That doesn't mean just me or just you. That means everybody on this planet is responsible for encouraging someone somewhere to do something regarding whoever is responsible for their government. And yet I don't know of anything happening. And I don't know enough who are adapting. I mean, that's what we have to do at this point. If no one is doing anything to change what's happening, we have to at least adapt. And we should have all kinds of programs. Programs in the high schools. How do you adapt to climate change? Something that at least gives some kind of guidance to the students instead of having them just be anxious about climate change. They did a study, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago with 10 different countries and found that most of the people between 18 and 24 were concerned about climate change. Did they write their Congress people? Or did they just report in the survey? Yep, I'm concerned. And then, like I said, there's a lot of people saying, I'm not concerned. There is no such thing. It's just a normal pattern. We didn't do anything. We don't have any responsibility for this. Just a normal pattern. The Earth has come and gone before. It's just going to come and go again. That's all there is to it. It's not. It doesn't bother me. I don't have anything to worry about. Really. 2035 isn't that far away. I think you do have something to worry about. And I doubt you're doing anything about it. And that makes this talk a real bummer. Because hope isn't going to correct the problem. Adaptation, at least telling our kids some of the things they can do, talking to our farmers, getting our farmers to work together on what they might be able to do, coming together with all of their minds and creating think tanks and that sort of thing, and sharing that information with the public so they know what's going on, so they know what chances we are. But maybe that's why we've got the current administration in the U.S. to tell us that there are going to be times when all that we counted on, all that we thought would happen in the world isn't. All we thought we could count on, we can't. All we thought we knew something about and we expected to be told, we're not. I guess we're on our own. I guess everybody has to make up their own minds and decide what they're going to do and when it's going to be too late. in their mind, in everybody's own mind. When is it going to be too late for your garden? When is it too late for your family? When is it too late for your life? It's something good to think about, isn't it? Have any questions? Ask me in the comments. I'll be glad to answer. And I want to thank you for being here. And while you're down there, please take a look at our nonprofit and the things we've been doing over all the last 34 years to help others. And take a look at the art that we have for sale, just specifically to remind you to respect the earth. Don't be like the deniers. Respect the earth, honor the earth, send her positive energy. And if you know anybody that's working on it, encourage them. Thank you.